Hello progressors, and how are you today? Welcome to my channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus. And if you don't know my other channel, then do look in the links below, where in the description I've listed it for you. It's Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And it's a channel where I hope there's something for everybody. So do take a look at the playlist there, and of course my playlist on this channel to find what you're interested in or what you're looking for. So without further ado, let's get on with my live. And today's live, Mondays, is always lots of little short topics. And then my chit chat and updates is on my Wednesday live. So let's start with the first section today. And I like to call this section Blast from the Past. So something to do with the past. And I'm going to read from my book today. And this is How Things Started. So this could also be under inspiration and creation, because it's how things were invented. Common things you'll know of, but how they came to be. And I'm trying to pick things that I'm sure most people will know of. So today I've picked Coca-Cola. And it says, Coca-Cola all began, according to legend, in modest surroundings in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, where in 1886 a pharmacist, Dr. John S. Pemberton, first produced a syrup in a three-legged pot in his backyard. The new product was placed on sale for 5 cents a glass as a soda fountain drink on the 8th of May, 1886. The first sales were at Jacob's Pharmacy in the heart of downtown Atlanta. The first advert proclaimed that Coca-Cola was delicious and refreshing. It was Dr. Pemberton's partner, Frank Robinson, who suggested the name and wrote Coca-Cola in the flowing script. For the next 8 months, only 13 drinks per day were sold. Not a very auspicious beginning for a product whose sales now average more than 600 million drinks a day. Dr. Pemberton did not realise the importance of the beverage he had created. In need of funds, and because of ill health, he gave 2 Atlanta friends a 2/3 interest for $1,220, including the sole right to manufacture the syrup. 4 months before he died in 1888, he and his son accepted $500 for all remaining rights to the product from Asa G. Kanda, who had come to Atlanta 15 years earlier with $1.75 in his pocket. Later, he started to buy up other rights and eventually gained complete control. The trademark Coca-Cola was registered in the United States in 1893. Candler, a firm believer in advertising, gave away thousands of complimentary coupons for a free glass of Coca-Cola. He also carried out a large promotional program giving away souvenir fans, calendars, clocks, urns, and countless novelties. And Stephen T. Najor in the house, welcome to you. We'll talk about the history of Coca-Cola. Joseph A. Biedenhahn was so impressed by the growing demand for Coca-Cola at his soda fountain in Vicksburg, Mississippi, that he installed bottling machinery in the rear of the store and began to take bottles of Coca-Cola around to plantations and lumber camps up and down the river. He was the first man to put Coca-Cola in bottles using syrup shipped from Atlanta. 30 years later, there were 1,000 bottling plants in the USA. It was in the first year of the 20th century that Coca-Cola was first served in London. Howard Candler, son of the company's founder, took a jug of syrup on a holiday trip, and an order for 5 gallons of the syrup was sent back to the USA. Imitation has always been a problem, and one way of preventing this was the introduction of a distinctive bottle. Its unique shape was granted a registration as a trademark by the US Patent Office in 1960. Company president Robert Winship Woodruff had the vision of Coca-Cola becoming an international drink, and in 1926 he formed a foreign sales department. He also developed the 6-bottle carton in the 1920s, an innovation at the time. Packaging of Coca-Cola in cans began in 1955. When the Apollo astronauts returned from their moon flight, they were greeted by a Times Square sign flashing, "Welcome back to Earth, home of Coca-Cola." So how much of that did you know or not know? And there's many falsehoods and fables about Coca-Cola, but there are also many true facts out there as well. So there's a lot of, they call the tales that aren't true. Urban legends. There's a lot of urban legends, but it's always somebody heard or someone told someone. But if people can't point back to where they heard it, where they saw it, who said it, it is normally an urban legend. So yeah, let me know what you've heard, either in the chat or in the comments below if you're watching this back later. What urban legend have you heard about Coca-Cola? Okay, let's move on to my next section. Monday Fun Day, jokes, quotes, puns and fun. So of course I'm going to do some more jokes today for you. I've got the fan on, so I have to keep putting my glasses case back on the pile or it will go everywhere. I thought today I would do holiday jokes for you, some holiday jokes. Where do sharks go on holiday? Where do sharks go on holiday? Finland. Finland. Why did the robot go on holiday? Why did the robot go on holiday? Well, he needed to recharge his battery. Why didn't the Egyptian mummy go on holiday? Why didn't the Egyptian mummy go on holiday? He didn't want to unwind. Hey, Ashley, how are you doing? Lanzarote. Steve and Tina Jill like the joke. Oh, Ashley. Oh, dear. My son came here on holiday. Did you meet him at the airport? No, I already knew him. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Okay, next joke. I'll keep drinking, it's so hot here. What does bread do on holiday? What does bread do on holiday? It loafs around. Where do fleas go on holiday? Where do fleas go on holiday? Search me. Where do sheep go on holiday? Bahamas. Are you liking them? Excellent. 2 more. Where did your mum go on holiday? Alaska. Never mind, I'll ask her myself. Oh dear. Oh dear. Why did Humpty Dumpty have a great fall? To make up for the bad summer. That's pretty good. I like that one. So they're my little jokes for today. Hope that put a smile on your face or else made you cry. Search me. Yes, I've got to keep drinking, excuse me. Okay, so let's go on the next section. Put glasses case on my pile. So my next section, now this, I was going to do it under my Cyprus section because you all like to know more about Cyprus. But I also have a section I thought it might go with very well, is to do new to you, something you might not have done. Maybe it's something you would try if you knew how to do it. Oh, what's that then, Dawn? How can it be about Cyprus? Well, this is about octopus. And the to do new to you, perhaps you've never cooked octopus. I'll say that 8 times and it'd be right. So maybe it's something you'd be interested in, but it's also a funny little story as well, and it's written by a Cypriot. So I will just read you the story. It's by Amaranth Citus, and it's called How Not to Shake Hands with an Octopus, and it does include how to cook it. And she writes, everybody will tell you it's very easy to catch an octopus. Just show it a white flag and it will be there in a flash to grab it. Have you heard that? Watch people on the seafront or on piers gazing into the sea, and suddenly you will see everybody getting very excited. And then someone will produce a white cloth, which is quickly tied to a pole or a line and thrown into the sea. And in no time, you'll see it being pulled back with an octopus clinging onto it. Have any of you heard that before? That's how you catch an octopus. However, don't be too optimistic about your chances. An octopus needs a veteran to deal with it. To show you just what I mean, I must tell you about my mother's encounter with one. Mother, who was a determined and impulsive woman, had been told the same thing, and so one day she decided to catch one herself. At that time, I was 5. We were on some rocks in the north coast, and I was playing about with a fishing net. Suddenly, Mother spotted an octopus. Without any hesitation, she knelt down and grabbed the thing. Hey there, how you doing, Shirley? Glitter World's in the house. I'm reading about how you catch an octopus. He seemed to take an instant liking to her and grabbed her fondly in his arms. This was somehow not what my mother had anticipated, her intentions being much less affectionate, but hard as she tried to pull him off, she only succeeded in pulling him off one leg at a time, and he would then cling determinedly to the other, eyeing her with the most human look. An octopus will follow you with its eyes, watching you exactly as a human being does, which leaves one with the most uncomfortable feeling. It also possesses a parrot beak. I suppose Mother would have been smothered by the octopus's affection had it not been for some fishermen who were nearby and to whom I called out in horror. Thanks, Shirley. Shirley saying to smash the like button. Thanks so much. One of the fishermen came up at once, saying, "Don't be afraid, madam." He grabbed the poor creature, and with experience and undeterring dexterity, he turned its ink sac out, which is the only way to disarm an octopus instantly. After this experience, Mother had great respect for this species and a great dislike for them from me, though I have learnt to face them quite bravely when they're nicely served in lemon and oil sauce. But from the catching to the cooking stage, there is still a lot to learn. If you want to buy an octopus in order to cook him, you must first of all make sure that he has been beaten and rubbed for at least half an hour. All those who sell them will tell you it has been well beaten. So take a look at the one you fancy and then ask the fisherman how much he wants to beat it again, because in your opinion it has not been beaten well enough. The man should beat the octopus until its skin comes off in shreds. If this has not been done, then however well you cook it, you will find it impossible to chew. The fisherman will also clean your octopus for you if you ask. Let us now presume your octopus is nicely beaten, cleaned and washed. You can then cut him up and boil him, but I really should say it, not him, though in my mind an octopus is always male somehow, I think because of mother, or else you can cook it like a squid. To boil it, you should put it in a pot without any water at first and let it produce its own juice to stew in. When it has absorbed its own juice, then you add some water and let it cook on a low fire. Keep adding water until it's tender. I'm sure a pressure cooker would do it in no time, but of course that is not the real thing. When tender, you can serve it cold with lemon and oil beaten together until it's a thick sauce, and sprinkle it with finely chopped parsley. You can also fry it until golden brown and served hot. If you want to keep it, then skin it and cover with vinegar. In this way, you can keep it for 1 or 2 months. Serve with oil and parsley or fry it. If you want to grill it, put it on a low charcoal fire just as it is and cook until tender. The fishermen and the cooks at little restaurants dry the octopi in the sun, stretched over canes or on sticks. They are kept like this and used when wanted as a meze. The strange thing about an octopus is that when it's dead, it will rot in the sea, but never goes bad in the fresh air. Dried octopus is wetted with water and beaten like a chop before it is put into the fire to be grilled or cooked for meze, and always have a glass of wine with such a meal to help digest it, as it's rather heavy. So I hope that was of interest to some of you. How many of you have ever actually cooked octopus? I wonder how many of you out there have. I know a lot of my viewers are chefs of some sorts or others, so let me know. And is that how you cooked it? Did some people like me assume at first that some octopus is just tough because of the way it's cooked? Well, apparently now that's not so. It has to be beaten until the skin falls off, or it will always be hard no matter how well you cook it. So I hope that was interesting. Okay, let's go on to my next topic for today. And we're going to go on to knacks, hacks, facts and stats. So we have some hacks today for you to do with lemons. Some lemon hacks for you. First one. Before grating lemons, run the grater under the cold tap, and then the gratings will always just slip off easily. And I also have a hack where I always say grate carrots last, because then it cleans out anything trapped in there. So, or an onion. An onion's very good to do last, and that cleans out your grater. Second tip. Lemon juice helps to keep fish white during cooking. Squeeze on an oily fish such as mackerel during grilling. Oh, that was hard for me to say. Next hack. Keep sweet corn yellow by adding 1 teaspoon, 5 ml, of lemon juice to the unsalted cooking water a minute before removing it from the heat. Salted cooking water will toughen the corn. Stephen Tina Jewell says good on bananas as well. Yes, when I pick my artichokes, I grow artichokes, and when I take the hearts out, I always put them straight into lemon water, squeeze the lemon. And yes, so good tip there from Stephen Tina Jewell. Do go and check out their channel, and very nice content there. Lovely scenery. I enjoy seeing the scenery when they go out and about. So lovely channel. Go and take a look. And the last hack for today is keep poached eggs firm by adding a little lemon juice to the water. No, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Okay, need another sip of water. And do go also and check out Glitter World. She mostly does lives. In fact, I think she only does lives. I could be wrong. She's got an auction coming up of her paintings. Do check out her channel for times, because obviously in Cyprus I can't tell you other countries' times without working it all out. So do go and look. I'm sure she's got it up now as an upcoming on her channel. It says upcoming auction something or other, and she does paintings, and that helps to give her day-to-day income. And also check out Ashley's Allotment Adventures. He's a great deal of fun. Do you have vinegar when poaching eggs? Yes, I do. White vinegar I use. Somebody taught me that because it stops them breaking up. Pretty much. Pretty much. Yes, that's my little way that stops them all separating. So yes, that's another good tip there. You're full of your tips today. I like a good tip or hack. Okay, on to my next section for today is let's look at a book I took from my book nook. Let's look at a book I took from my book nook. Yes. And at the moment, people have asked me to read more of, going away, more of the Aesop's fables. And these are just really short, synopsis of the fables. So they're not very long, but they get the message across. So I'm going to keep doing these till I get to the end of the book. And this one is called The Lion and the Man. Does anyone know this one? A lot of them I know when I read them, and some I do know. This one says, a lion and a man were travelling on a road together. They started arguing about which one of them was the strongest, the more powerful. They came across a statue at the side of the road, a statue of a man strangling a lion with his bare hands. You see that, said the man. That just proves my point. Over there is a statue of a man overpowering a lion. The lion smiled a wry, dry smile. If lions bothered to carve and sculpt, I'm sure then you would see a lot of statues of lions with humans under their paws. And it says, each person who describes an event can't help but put his or her own slant on it. We all believe our own point of view is more true than anyone else's. That's good. I like that. I like quotes and sayings. I like things like that, and I like clever ones. Not heard of that one. No, I hadn't. And even reading it then, I didn't know that as well. But I think that's one of the better ones so far. I think that's really true. You do kind of think, not necessarily you're right about everything, but if you're reviewing something that's occurred, everyone puts their own spin on it. They did in our psychology classes that you see an event, like people act out something, and then you'll have to write down what happened, And even that, the spin on that, everyone focused on different things or different points of view. And as they say, if you have to identify, say, a robber or something like that, no two people would describe the robber in the same way, or indeed the same. That is why they went to, they had an artist always in to draw what a person looked like, because a verbal description can be so random. It's like when someone goes missing, they describe them, they say how tall they were and what colour hair. I mean, just these points. It's not really narrowing it down, is it? I'm back, lost connection. I did see someone popped off. Ashley, you're popping off again. But thanks for coming back. I've had a terrible time with things on YouTube today, not connection or anything like that, but I didn't know. But have a look if any of you do shorts and go back, and every so many they put, what was it, limited, something like that, limited, and they're saying words in my shorts or something in my shorts visually are not appropriate. And it's things like, one is might drink a cup of coffee. Oh, so not appropriate. One was, okay, it was pulling weeds. Maybe it flagged the word. But most of them were like nothing, and gardening and, you know, my content, nothing like that. So I think every now and then they just like go down. So if you do shorts, go back on them, like go in your content, that page, and then just go down them. And if you see where the green sign is, like safe for all and everything, then just run down. And every so many of mine, it was like, oh, let's just do that, do it. And you can just click on it, and then it says, please re-review my content. What that means is don't let a robot do it. Someone actually put your eyes on it. Ashley says, I'm always popping somewhere. Oh dear. You remind me of that. What was it called? Like space dust, was it called? Do you remember that, Ashley? And it came in like a little packet, and you put it in your mouth and it all popped. Space dust, I think it was called. And if you put it in wrong, it was like sherbet, popping sherbet. And if you put it in wrong, it could pop and hit the back of your front teeth. And that used to hurt. Yeah, I think it was called space dust. As I say, okay, little tiny packets. I don't know if they banned that or probably had tons of colourings and additives in. And in that silly era, they probably got rid of it. But we all grew up on all these colourings and flavourings and fat and all the rest of it. Well, we're all right, aren't we? Nothing wrong with us. Now they just eat plastic and chemicals in all their food. And us older guys are growing our own because we're not eating that rubbish. Give us your colourings and preservatives and fat. We were all right then. Oh dear, funny me. Okay, on to my next section. So this is my so grown mo and ho ho ho. I think just my theme titles, my topic titles, gives you some idea of what I'm like if you don't know me. This is probably why I do subscribers only on this channel. You know what's coming. Ashley says, YouTube has a problem with long-handled weed removal tools. Long-handled weed removal tools. I'm trying to think what that actually is, Ashley. The word means something completely different in America. Long-handled weed removal tool. I don't know what that is. Put it in my chat because you got me going now. Yeah, on my channel I can't say weed, apparently. I can't say, oh look, here's a weed I pulled up in my garden. They don't like that. And I'm not a smoking channel in any shape or form. So Yeah, put it in, Ashley. I don't know. A long-handled weed removal tool. No, I only know like a fork and. If you don't want to put it in the chat, email me what it is because you've got me thinking. Oh, there you go. Oh, ho. Yeah, see, Stephen Tina Jewell didn't know it either. Oh, a hoe. Yes, of course, a hoe. I think that's English as well, isn't it? Oh, really? I think that's one of those American terms we kind of took in England, hence why we know it. Or do we just know it from like Starsky and Hutch and things like that, maybe? Perhaps we just know that from those things. Yes. And me and Ashley learnt from American TV that it's okay to drive on the other side of the road. Was any of you guys on when someone put in my comments that they were watching one of my drive videos? I think we were driving up the mountains, and I was obviously filming it and Mike was driving, and obviously there's barely vehicles here if you in these rural areas, so we didn't pass any cars. Anyway, she said, I was really enjoying your filming, your video of you driving up the mountains, but I was so worried. I kept thinking, can you like get on the other side of the road now because a car might come? Because we drive the same side of the road as England. Yes, did you know that? Yes, we drive the same side of the road as England. So. Oh dear. Okay, so gardening tips. This is, I'm growing my first ever rocket. Can you believe I've never grown rocket? So it's actually ready now. It's ready along with my white icicle radish. They're about that long, quite thick ones, pointy down. I think they're called white icicle. I'm not very good at knowing varieties very well because in Cyprus we just pass seeds around. So half of the stuff is just what the vegetable is or whatever. But these are white icicle because I bought these seeds myself because I just like the look of them. I thought, oh, I want to try those. So they're ready and my first rocket's ready. So I thought I would just talk about rocket, just a short little bit, just basic things of rocket that I obviously wrote down just to clarify what I was doing. Rocket is an annual. It's normally ready 4 to 6 weeks. The leaves you harvest when the leaves are about 8 to 10 centimeters long. Pick regularly. It's like lettuce. Don't take the whole thing out. Pick the leaves off and then it will keep going. When it bolts, the flowers and the seeds are edible. Pinch out the lower stems so it keeps growing. And you can eat it raw, obviously, or you can saute or like steaming. And you can freeze rocket. I'm always interested in what you can and can't. I wasn't sure because I think it's kind of like lettucey stuff. So yes, you can freeze rocket, but you must chop up the leaves because if you leave them as whole leaves, they can become mushy on thawing. Oh, I nearly couldn't say thawing then. Ashley says, I tried white icicle, made me shiver. Icicles are very important to me because my very first stage show I was in, like proper show, not like a school thing or something, my first proper show, I was 3 years old and I was put in the show because I was so cute, obviously, and I was an icicle. I was an icicle. I'm sure I've shown you the picture before. I'll see if I can find it and show it maybe on Wednesday if I remember. And I had this silver, I say dress, they weren't long enough to cover much at all, as in not down your legs. I think it was for the cutesy appeal. I don't know. I mean, these days you just wouldn't do it, would you? And the teacher said, oh, they have to wear great big white knickers underneath. and obviously you're dancing, you put your hands up, and we had like silver crowns, like pointy crowns, and everyone was wearing them pointy up. And in the dress rehearsal, she's like, no, icicles, I want them pointing down. Cute little icicle, yes. Stalactites and stalagmites, yes. And those who can't remember, the stalactites are from the top hanging down. I always remember it as they hang on tight, stalactites and stalagmites. And then, as you know, if they drip, they can meet in the middle and produce columns. Hey. So if you've got any other tips for me on rocket, I've grown my first beans this year. I've harvested quite a lot of those, lots of different types of green beans, and my first rocket. So I'm trying to grow new things every year and keep going on things I've already got. Today I harvested so many peppers, huge peppers, harvested so many of those, and all my herbs are going wonderfully well. So in the spring, I want to increase my herbs. I want to get sage, thyme. What do I grow now? Coriander, parsley. That's why I nearly said polyandra. My brain doesn't go in time with my mouth. It's not coordinated. Parsley, coriander. Oh, Lord. Mint, different mints. Rosemary. Steve and Tina Jewell say our apple trees have gone crazy this year with apples. Last year I had my first apple. It's what they call false fruit. The first time a fruit tree fruits, you're not supposed to have it. And it was a small little apple like this, because I've grown all my apple trees from seed. They're probably, I don't know, not quite to my shoulder yet, but they're very small and wiggly things, because it's really too hot here for apple trees, but they're all growing. Ashley said Selig might, but he might not. That's very good. I should be stalagmite. I might or I might not. Let me think about it. I do that. If any of you are susceptible to, if someone asks you a favour on the spur of the moment, and then you kind of go away and think, oh, I shouldn't have said yes, or you had another plan, use the phrase, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Great tip. I'll let you know. And then you can think in your own time. Okie dokie. On to my section, coffee break. What to watch. Something you may have missed seeing. And today I'm going to go through what I've been posting lately, particularly on my other channel, because I've got in a right old tears because I'm editing so much at the moment. I'm trying to clear my laptop of bits of film. I'm trying to put it all together, make videos. I've got a whiteboard here. There's quite a few still more to go on there, but I need to get things off my laptop, so I've got to make them into videos. So now I'm getting confused with what I've posted and what I've edited. I was talking to someone about something, and they were, oh, I haven't seen that one. Give me the link. And I was like, there is no link. I've edited it. It's not posted. So this is for my benefit as much as for yours. So this is on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and it is linked below if any of you haven't found it yet. So I have posted today, that was a palaver. I've posted today, I talked on this channel about an auction win I got of books. And there's a long story about that, how I only wanted 6 books out of a whole box of books. But it worked out the whole cost of the auction books, including the books I didn't want, meant the 6 books I did want, I paid €2.40 for each book. So that's not bad. So if you're like, well, what books was that, blah, 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 go and look on my other channel, which, as I say, is linked below, and then you can see what the books are. And there's also a little bit on there about the cross stitch. I also bidded on recently, and a bit about that. And also, we were trying to remember what else we've won on auction lots. So I've put a few more things in the past, things we've got at auction on there. So that might be of interest to you. It's kind of like a shopping haul. Now, since the pandemic, you can't go to the auction. It's online. So you have pictures. There is a day you can go in, but it's a very set time and day and all the rest of it. So we go on the photos. Some things, it's like books are books, but you still can't see them all, what they all are. They're all set out. So it's kind of half blind, but if you really wanted to go and check on something, it is possible. Stephen Tina Jewell says, our apples tend to drop off the tree as there is something wrong with the trees. I think they're just old trees. Yeah, here, because of our heat wave, we don't really have autumn or fall here. It just goes from hot summer to cooler summer to winter. But here at the moment with the heat wave, it's like we've got fall or autumn. All the leaves are just falling off the trees everywhere. I need to rake. Raking in the summer, that's weird. It's too hot to do that. But yeah, that's pretty weird at the moment. So prior to that, I did a video posted on dragonflies. Now, mostly we have red dragonflies here. We do have a few blue ones and some other colours, but you will see red dragonflies. So there's pictures and footage of that. Stephen Tins, you'll say we're having a very hot summer here in Canada. Lots of forest fires. Yeah. I saw it was your video. Was it your video I saw when you filmed and it was along the road? I think it was your one. And I was saying, is it like people drop cigarettes and things like that? They've said so far we're not a Greek island, we're far away from the Greek islands, but you've probably heard in the news, there's about 3 Greek islands that have got fires at the moment. And they're saying they have now said they are definitely all arson. They did that here a few years ago. They started several fires in several areas all at one time, like a group of youths, and they just like to cause chaos. And they like to see it all on film and videos and social media and everything. They do it for madness. So do keep safe. I know how scary they can be because we've had some very close here, and if we don't spot them, they're not going to be seen. So luckily we're up on the mountain, so we've got a good outlook and can mostly see. We can't see up behind us, but there's people live further up in villages. So if we don't spot them, we've had 2 very near in the past. I have actually videoed it. It was a 2-part video of the ones that were really near us. Then prior to that, I'm doing a new series on my other channel, and I call it Dawn's Diary. And it's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and little short clips. Now, it might be what I've achieved. It might be what I'm doing. It might be, like I say, it's really to show you all these little odd segments I've got filmed, but they're not enough to make a video, or they don't really link in with anything, but something I filmed. And I think it was episode 1, because as I say, I've done another one since. I'm sure it's episode 1. It's like somebody we helped out gave us a massive tuna, and it was a massive tuna. So where do I put that in my content? It's been sitting there. So Dawn's Diary is, if you like, lots of little short clips all joined together. I do like Monday and then show something, Tuesday something. So it gives you really a good insight into, if I was a vlogger, they would be things you would see, let's say, if I was more of a vlogger, which I'd love to do. But most places I go, you're not allowed to film in Cyprus. so I can't. So it's like my mini vlog, if you like. Yes, Ashley. Yes, do go on Ashley's channel with your questions of growing. Ashley says about the trees, 3 main reasons for this. 1, too much fruit. 2, lack of water. 3, lack of fertilizer. Lack of fertilizer, yes. Because even if your ground's good, in time it wears, doesn't it? So it's something you've got to keep adding. And there's different things you put on depending on if you've got root crops or trees or top, like things that grow out the top, not a root thing. They all need different things. So Ashley will tell you all about that. So yeah, do ask Ashley your questions. Go on his channel if you have questions about growing. And if he doesn't know, he'll certainly pass you on to someone who might be able to help you. So do take a look at that. Okay, let's have a look at this channel. Let's see what's been going on this channel. I would hope you probably know what's going on this channel. Oh, I don't know if you look at my community post. To be honest, unless it flashes up like on your YouTube page, as in, you know, what people are posting and everything, the main page, unless it comes up there, then I might click on them. I don't seek out people's community pages unless I'm going on their live and they're not there, and then I'll look there. It's like a message board as well. But today I have posted a funny community post. It's just a picture with something underneath. It's a funny, and then go back to, and I've done another funny one. So I'm going to try and put little funny things. I used to do that on my community post, and then I just kind of didn't for some reason. I think I was busy doing other things. But do keep your eye on my community post, and don't forget, if you do like it, put a like and a comment. And I'm going to start putting some funny ones up now and then because I love them. I like it. If you see something funny, it just makes you smile for a minute, then I'll put it up. So I've just posted one, and then back one is who's got the free seeds from me for this month, and then one under that is another funny one. So I know you'll like them. I know you will. So on this channel, next post, what are we on now? Monday. So Wednesday will be my next post. I've got another beach for you because I did promise you I would be trying to film some different beaches for you to show how they're all so different here. So there's a beach one. And then today I posted the Q&A with my most recent volunteer. So I ask her questions, and guess what? She answers. Oh dear. So it's a Q&A with my volunteer. So it might be questions you're interested in or not, but about her volunteering here, her experience here. And I do ask the question, was there anything when she came to Cyprus that she totally unexpected, or she just didn't know, something like strange or different, or anything unexpected that she found here? So that's a question in there. And I know what Ashley will say. He'll say me. Something strange in Cyprus. So there's that. And then prior to that, I did a Hugel culture bed update, and I titled it Hugel Bed Update 31, Mysterious Pumpkins and a Mother Plant. Yes. And then prior to that was another beach. See, I'm doing quite good on my beaches for you guys. I did promise I would try and do some more beaches. This weekend, me and Mike, it's our wedding anniversary. 18 years or 17 years? I thought it was 18, but he's 17, or I got that back. Oh, we've been here 18 years, but it's 17 years anniversary. That was it. I sorted out my head. It's on Sunday, but we're going to make a big weekend of it. So we're going to go out somewhere on Saturday, take the whole day somewhere. So I will likely film some of that because it's an area I haven't filmed yet for you, and might end up being a couple of videos because we're going for the whole day. And then what was I going to say? Oh, and then Sunday is our real anniversary. Stephen Tina Jewel says thanks to Ashley. He's full of good info. He's good info. Stephen Tina Jewel says I'm going to water a lot this week and get some fertilizer. Let Ashley know how it's coming along when you do that. Pop on his channel and let him know. Because it's always good to know. Sometimes people give out advice and then they don't hear the how it turned out kind of thing. So, and then if you've got any more problems, let him know and he'll help you out. He's very good, very good, very good. So that's what we're doing the weekend. Oh, I should share my dream with you. I had one last night. I'm not going to tell you about that one because it was so real and it involves somebody you would all know, and it's not me or Mike. It's somebody on YouTube, and it's probably not who you're thinking. So it was too real and something I know about that person, so I can't share for you. But one I had recently was I was working on this, I say beach, it was the sea, but it only had like a footpath of sand where the sea came in, and then it had like a little short wall, and then it was just pavement and road and whatever. So the sea came right into, you could only just walk, if you like, when the tide was not in much. This little path, it wasn't a beach, but it was definitely the sea. And I got this job where there were all trees that dropped leaves down onto the pavement, and the guy said, can you just rake them onto this beach that isn't a beach, this sand walkway, which was a walkway, oh dear, onto this, over the pavement, onto the sand that is where the sea comes into, and then the sea will just take the leaves out and it's gone. Because he said, I want the pavement all nice. And I said, yes. He said, I'll give you a lot of money, but you must get it done today. I want it done today. And I thought, this is an easy job. So I was like, yeah, sure. And I just start doing it. And then there's a tsunami warning. And they said, right, everyone's got to obviously go away from this area. There's a tsunami warning. And I was like, but the sea's fine. I know that it can suddenly come, but the sea was fine. So I go over this wall and I'm still raking like all the leaves down onto it. And they're like, you can't go there, you can't go there. And I said, I'll just be a minute. I've just got to rake all these leaves. And they're like, no, you can't go down there. And I'm like, if I don't get it done, I'm not getting my money. And it was such easy money and good money. I'm going to be raking this. They're like, no, you can't. I went, yes, I can. And that was it. Ashley says, if you have clusters of apples, thin them out by picking so as the apples have room to grow. Yes, I do that, harvesting my beetroot. And this year I tried, because I'm always experimenting and trying different things. And this year I grew them because I started like the wrong time of year. I'm trying to grow things all year long regardless. So I started them at completely the wrong time, deliberately, but in the bottom of a big water container, you know, like the great big ones that go upside down in dispensers in offices and whatever. I don't know what you call those great big ones, but those. So I grew them in the bottom of one of those. I started off just half cutting the top part so I could bring it back over as like a germination top. So it was still attached to the top, but you could swing it like a lid. And I grew them, not too many, so they weren't like thousands in there or something, spread out. And then when they were all growing quite well, I knew they needed more room. So I then sliced this up and then put as is in my raised bed. And if you watch my raised beds, your videos, you'll see this. So I've got 2 great big clusters of them. But I knew that as beetroot particularly grow, they will push themselves away. They don't grow, oh, we haven't got room, and fight for the space. They will grow. They might turn a little bit if they're too big, but they will push away from each other. And I also did that with pepper plants this year. And you know, it's worked so well that these cluster plants have probably grown one of the best. I've grown things at the same time, like pepper plants and beetroots, like normal ways in other areas. And this has really worked. And I don't know why, whether the roots have protected each other, or I don't know quite why it's worked so well. But the amount of beetroot that I've harvested just from 2, only grew 2 water containers of them. And I've been harvesting them, and this is what I was getting to, the fact that as some are getting bigger first, I take those out and then the others can expand all the more. So that worked for me very well. Ashley said, I dreamed about my mother-in-law once. Stephen Tina says, should we pick the smaller ones first and keep the bigger apples? Depends how big the big ones are. How close are they for being ready? Ashley says, yeah, pick the biggest first and small ones will get bigger. Yeah, that was my thought. If they're ready, and the smaller ones are developed more. But my suggestion is whenever you harvest anything, the very first ones that are good of anything, I keep the seeds of. A lot of people say, like okra, when you get to the end of it, let the last ones go to seed. They're not going to be the best because it's the end of the season. So I actually default. It's like when you grow asparagus. When you first grow it, never have the first year asparagus. And if you can hold out, don't have it for 2 or 3 years, because then the crown gets better. And did you guys see my short, my 17-year-old asparagus? And my friend Laurie went, really? I went, yes, really. Like, was it some joke she'd missed? No, it's been growing for 17 years. 17 years it's been growing for, and I do nothing with it. I obviously harvest some of the asparagus, but I don't do anything about, oh, save this and cut this, and I do nothing with it. It's in a big old metal bath, and the seeds, we call them seeds or asparagus, but they go straight back into the ground. And I don't pick all the asparagus every year, so this is why it's developing so well. I think the crown's there, and year after year. The only thing I do was, if you know asparagus, it grows really high like a big fern, and then it dies off. It goes brown and crispy almost. It snaps off in the wind. Or I sometimes cut them off when they've totally died back, just to make it tidy. But that is it. I do nothing with it. Nothing. And it's been 17 years growing that way. For thinning, for thinning. Yes. I like when we all share tips, and sometimes simple things people don't think of. Ashley says, pick biggest first. The tree will put the energy into the smaller fruit. We'll definitely do that. Yes. It's also, some trees are better big and some trees are better small. Oh, I'll ask you a question, Ashley. My new fruit trees I bought in the spring. I've never bought a fruit tree. And I bought 2 nectarines, an early peach, a late peach, a yellow plum, and a purple plum. All those that didn't fruit are fine. all those that are fruited, now I know what I said earlier, you're not supposed to have the first year fruit, but all those that had that first year fruit that fell off, obviously, they've all lost their leaves. Bear in mind, I'm in a heat wave. How often should I be watering them in a heat wave? I don't know if I'm doing too much or not enough. I've been doing now every morning, and not like tons and tons, but I've got quite a big circle around them and I'm watering that. I'm not like going crazy with it, but they are getting a very good water every morning. So yeah, it's turning into gardener's question time, which is great. That's absolutely great. While we've got Ashley Expert on, we're going to use him for our questions. Yeah, so the early peach. The early peach it was too late for that to fruit when we bought them, so that didn't fruit, and that's still got lovely green leaves on. The yellow plum and the purple plum didn't show any fruit because it's not the time for those, and they're fine. Although I've got stems on the bottom of one, like offshoots at the very bottom, but I don't want to cut it yet because the heat. I know they've got to come off, but I don't want to do that in the heat. But the two nectarines and the late peach that all had these fruits on, that I know like wasn't good really. And that was before the heat wave, so I didn't have fruit in the heat wave. They've all completely lost their leaves pretty much. So I want to know the watering of that. It's so hot, I've got to do every day, I think. And is it like you were saying about it, they've lost the leaves because it wants to suck up the energy for what's there? I go brown and crispy too. Oh, sorry, knocked you then. Did I knock you over? Oh, and if you guys want a laugh, I got called up on the Astute Tourist channel this morning, my morning. So go and check that out. I think he called that live Cup of Joe or something, Cup of Joe chat or something, Cup of Joe live. So I come on, I didn't go on his until I think it's done about 7 to 10 minutes before I actually went on. And then he called me up when I did go on. So fast forward to about 7 minutes or 10 minutes or something, if you want a laugh. Oh dear. Yeah, so I'm assuming things sometimes drop their leaves so it can suck up energy elsewhere. They're not very, I would say they're probably as tall as this tree that is still in bloom. As you can see, does anyone know this species here? This is from my Friday lives on my other channel, in case you're wondering what it is. This is on my Friday lives. You'll know if you go on that one what this is all about. But it's in bloom. I made the blooms. Do you like them? Very pretty blooms. Who knows, it might fruit one day. What sort of fruit do you think that would be? Are they in pots or the ground? They're in the ground, Ashley. They're in the ground. One of not my last work away, but the one previously, dug the holes for me. Yes. And they were good holes. And they had manure in the holes. They had new soil, good soil in there. The holes are fine. And I've made you make a little, they're in with like a little lip. They're in with the little lip, so they can hold sort of that much water on the top of the soil. They are in the ground. In the ground. We did plant out last year some new fig trees that I've grown all from seed, and some more olive trees if I don't need more olive trees. And some of the olive trees have died off, but they've got new shoots at the bottom this big, but the long stalk have died off. So I think it's the heat. Although here you can never tell. It might look like ground everywhere where a fruit forest is, but you don't know. There can be mountain rock anywhere. But I made sure she dug lower than I wanted them, and then we backfilled because obviously I didn't want them to hit anywhere. I'm hoping it's just the heat, and I've got a feeling that come sort of the rain and that they'll perk up again next year. But I just thought as you was there, you might have an idea for me. And my avocado looks like it's died off as well. So as I say, that's been going for years, my avocado tree. That is in a pot. That's because I didn't want it to die off. That's a huge pot, but that's died off. But I do know avocados do die right back and drop their leaves, and then they revive themselves again. So I'm just hoping that's what's happened with that, although it didn't look very healthy. And I do water that. I know all about those that you can't have the water on the roots of those, but I've got loads of big rocks in the bottom. Sounds like the tree's putting energy into producing fruit too early for its size. Consequently, the tree's now suffering. So what shall I do with it? How often shall I water? Shall I keep just watering in the heat? I do it early in the morning before the sun's even up. Yes. What do they need? What do they need? We're waiting with bated breath. Yeah, and that's what they say, isn't it? If it's a new tree, the first fruit you should just take away. One just looks like a stick now, like this, a stick, pretty much. A stick. But that's how it came. They came as sticks. Then they produced some lovely leaves. Lovely leaves. And then, yeah, as you say, it was like fake fruit or whatever people call it. Yeah, I would say maybe a bit taller than this. Maybe a bit taller than this, one of them. But funny enough, the ones that are okay, that didn't bear fruit, they are much taller. So I think you could be, yeah, they were already sustainable. Got to go to work. See you. Thanks, Dawn. Ashley. Thanks. Bye. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for using your time to come on my channel. I really appreciate that when there's so many channels out there. So thanks for that, and I'll see you soon. So yes, I think just keep watering and hopefully we get rain December. We're not expecting rain till November, December. Yes, I never know with particularly citrus trees. Most of ours we don't even water. We might throw a bucket on them now and then, but the great big established ones we don't. So yeah, I never know. I always worry about anything overwatering or underwater. So I tend to underwater. There they look flaky, then I water rather than overwatering. That's the thing with trees and plants. You get the sort of yellow dying off leaves, like they go very pale green, then like yellow leaves. That can be overwatering, but it can also be underwatering. That's the most crazy thing with growing. It could be overwatering or underwatering. I know they say with trees that put your finger in an inch, and if it feels dry, then they need more water. I know that. And as I say, we don't have moist land at all at the moment because there's no rain or anything. So, yeah, I'll just keep on with a little bit of water. I think little and often is always the key to gardening anyway. Keep things moist. Don't let roots sit in water. Let everything be aerated. Everything needs that. Don't grow in things too shallow. But there again, yet again, don't grow things too deep in pots and that where they can't reach down and get the water. And then the other conflict is don't water around roots or else trees particularly won't reach out to the water. So if you water just around the small trunk, then they never like get themselves set into the ground. I've actually gone against all gardening. I now grow a lot of things in cat food bags and pet food bags with no holes, and everyone say, oh, but you need the water to drain out. But I need less water because of that, and everything is thriving in pet food bags. Give them a good soak, right? Leave them for 2 days and then keep repeating and see if that improves. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. Thank you, Ashley, for your help. I really appreciate that. Yeah, as I say, you never know if you're overdoing something or underdoing something. Yeah, okay, I'll give them a good soak and go from there. Leave it for 2 days and then keep repeating. As I say, I don't think the heat wave has really helped. Normally things balance out, but there's just nothing. Oh, I see it's 1:10, so I will love you and leave you. Do check out Ashley's channel if you've got anything, any gardening questions. He is the YouTube guy to go and see first and foremost, and he'll do it with a happy heart. So do go and check out his channel. And thanks everyone for being on, whether you was on the actual live, or I know most of my peeps watch back the replay, which I thank you very much for doing that. And I will leave you there. And until next time, as always, Meraki.